So, all of us are required to perform Hajj once in a lifetime. But this individual performed Hajj when they are still a child, meaning that they did not attain the age of puberty. Is the Hajj going to be accepted? Absolutely, the Hajj is going to be accepted. But will it count towards them having performed Hajj once in their lifetime? In the obligatory sense? No. Because of what is the condition? Puberty. And they did not reach puberty. So that will count for them as a extra recommended action, nafil. That is one scenario. The second scenario is, now there's a small child. People right, they take a small child. So essentially the parent or the guardian is doing everything for the child because they're not able to. They're super young, maybe let's say like 2 years old or 1 year old. They cannot do anything themselves. So the parent or the person who is with them can perform those acts for them. And inshallah will be accepted. But still, once in their lifetime, once they reach the age of puberty, now they are again required to perform Hajj. Okay? Any questions? And this is now what I'm talking about. For it to count as an obligatory, Islam has to be there, sanity has to be there, and reaching the age of puberty. So that is the part which is missing for a child. All right? If you performed Hajj when you're age 9, and that is maybe pre-puberty, then you still are required to make Hajj. Again, if the conditions, we'll talk about it. Any questions? So the conditions for it now to be obligatory upon you, this is simple, we know, sanity we know, age of puberty we know, but let's explore the ability and the qudra. 1, the ability is that now there's 2 ways for me to perform Hajj or Umrah. I can either perform it in person, I myself travel from here, go there and perform those acts. Or I can send somebody on my behalf and they can do all those for me. And we're going to look from both angles. Let's look at the ability now of me, myself, actually going to perform Hajj. 1 is the financial ability, and that is the huge part of it. The huge part of it is the financial stability and ability. What does that mean? That means that I am able to pay for my trip from here, there, any activity there, and then back. That is 1. That I'm able to take care of all my expenses. 2, that people that I left behind, people who are responsible, my children, my spouse, maybe my elderly parents, people who I'm responsible, my household, then for the duration I'm away, then they have a financial means that they can sustain themselves. From both, right? Myself, me, my expenses, and my responsibility. Okay. Now, if you can afford that and you have the means to do that, then Hajj now becomes obligatory upon each one of us, if you fulfill that condition. Okay. But there's somebody who doesn't have financial stability, but when I come to class and tell you guys, look guys, I want to go to Hajj, can you please donate each 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, all right, let's say 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Essentially what I'm doing is, I'm begging, guys, please enable me to fulfill my obligation, please contribute. So I am begging for you guys to finance my Hajj. My Hajj is going to be accepted, and it's okay. But this is disliked, it's makruh in the madhab. It's makruh in the madhab. Okay. Or Imam Shafi'ī says actually it's obligatory upon you sometimes that, for example, me, I don't have the means to go to Hajj. But guess what? My father is blessed with wealth. He is able to take care of me going to Hajj. Then, even though I am not financially stable, but my dad, somebody who is responsible for me, is financially stable, and he has the means for him to send me to Hajj, then Hajj becomes obligatory upon me now. That is the opinion of Imam Shafi'ī himself. It didn't carry out throughout the madhab, but that is his opinion, right? And the stipulation that he puts there is that, you know what, that relationship can be somebody who doesn't remind you. Oh, remember I took you for Hajj. They're dangling in front of you every single time. I did this for you. Oh, I did that for you. If there's such a relationship, don't even ask. But if there's no such a relationship that somebody doesn't hold it in front of you, this favor, every time you want to do something, remember I did, then it's obligatory upon you. Any question? Good? We talked about the financial ability. The second one is now the financial ability. I have the money. Okay, great. But I don't have means to go there. The means for me to go there is what? I need a plane, or somebody needs a boat, or somebody needs a riding animal if they are living somewhere, right, in the Arabian Peninsula, if that still exists. I still need mode of me moving from here to go and perform Hajj. Now, that is put in that. For example, let's say, okay, I have the financial ability, but there is no airline whatsoever going to Saudi. Am I now obligated to go to Hajj? No. Why? I don't have I have the financial means. I can go, but I don't have anything to take me there. Money itself doesn't carry me and take me there. I need the transportation. Right? So then I will need that. Right? And then we spoke about the thing that you need to support your family. That is another facet too. That I might have the ability now to finance my own Hajj, but my dependents, I don't have anything to leave for them. Now is Hajj now required upon me? Is obligated upon me? No. Okay. The third is now I have all this money. I have the cash. I have the stability. But I am in debt. Either debt from people or debt from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's some sort of kafara that I need to pay. And if once I pay that kafara, then I no longer have the financial ability for me to go. Or you owe me $20,000. Or is it owe me or owe you? Which one is which? Owe you. Yes, right? I owe you $20,000. Great. My Hajj package, they told me is 18,000. Wow, I have the cash, but you're like, okay, yeah, give me my money. I no longer have the means to pay. So am I now obligated to go? Alhamdulillah. Hopefully the person will be generous with me and they're like, okay, khair. All that can be there now. So we talked about I have the financial stability, I have the means and all these things. But the way there is not safe. The way there is not safe. Am I obligated to perform Hajj? Nope. The other one is health. I don't have the physical ability. I have the wealth. I have the means. Saudi Airline, I can book first class. MashaAllah, Allah Mubarak. The route today is extremely safe. But guess what? There is health impediment that is not going to help enable you to go there. Now, is Hajj obligated upon this individual? Nope. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all good health. Ameen. And this other one is the ability to set forth for Hajj in time to perform it. For example, all right, so nowadays we have to go through a lot of process. You have to get the visa and all these things, okay? Hajj starts tomorrow. I'm still here. They just approved my visa today. Am I able to make it? I'm not able to. It starts tomorrow. Tomorrow is Arafah. And Arafah is this integral pillar. Okay? Saudi Airline lives here at what? It departs here at 12 p.m. Right? Saudi. Anyone take Saudi recently? I think at 12 p.m. from the IAD. There's a 12, yeah. If my memory serves me right. So at 12 p.m. Okay. The next flight I'm able to board at this moment, they just approved my visa as well. Tomorrow, and people tomorrow in Arafah. Is there a way for me to actually make it to that Hajj? It's not, now at that moment it's not obligated upon me. But I have to still perform it once in my lifetime. Any questions?
Quick question.
Yes.
Why is the financial stability, why'd you put under transportation, the one regarding the death?
The financial stability, because it's two-facet. Maybe I miswrote it. But it's all one and the same. It's all one and the same. More so. They're all linked to each other.
I see.
Right? Okay. Now, we said that this is for me now to perform myself, to go and perform it in person. Excellent. These 5 applies to all of us. If I check, Hajj is obligated upon me. But now there's some now is only specific and exclusive to our sisters. 1, a woman should not be in her iddah period during the time of travel for Hajj. Iddah, either she's a widower or she has been divorced. Both. Provided she's in her iddah, then she cannot go to Hajj. Iddah for when her husband passes away, widower, is how long? 4 months, 10 days. 4 months, 10 days. Iddah for when she is divorced is how many? Technically 3 lunar months, but it's 3 period of purity. Right? After she gets her menses clean, menses clean, menses clean. 1, 2, 3. Or the Hanafis is the actual menstruation. 1, 2, 3. So either of the situation that she is in, may Allah Ta'ala protect us, then she is not. This is simple. Because of the verse of in the Quran, that is simple. Do not force them to out of their home. لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا تخرجن. Nor should they leave their house. The verse is clear. So when they're in that state, that they should not leave their homes, Allah Ta'ala says. So now we're saying if you are in this state, Allah Ta'ala protect us, then now you cannot go for Hajj. Simple. This is a very unique case. And may Allah Ta'ala grants our husbands long life, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our marriage. Ameen. Now, the other thing is now the issue of mahram. Remember now, this is the big issue. Oh yeah, you cannot go to Hajj unless, or you cannot go to Umrah unless you have a mahram. We've had that a lot, right, sisters? Great. So let's us explore that. A woman, one must be accompanied regardless. Now we're not talking about this. Regardless, a woman must be accompanied by either her husband or a mahram. That is the first place now, right? If she has a husband, she must be accompanied by a husband or a mahram. Who is a mahram? Why did I put husband or a mahram? People confuse the husband to be a mahram. A husband is not a mahram of the wife, right? Mahram is anyone who is non-marriageable. You're not able to marry them. Okay, sibling, like that. Okay, both siblings through bloodline or through cycling. That is, or some people now will take this and run with it, right? Or they have to be accompanied by two or more trustworthy women whom she feels safe with, right? For example, you want to go to Hajj. 1, 2 right there. Right? We ask you, do you feel safe with them? You say yes. Yeah? Great. And are they trustworthy? Absolutely, I trust them. Alhamdulillah. So they can go together. Or nowadays, if you're going for Umrah or Hajj, who are you going with? Group from my masjid, group of my friends. Oh, I know Sheikh so and so, he's taking a group. You already fulfilled it. We are already in that group. What is the goal? What is the maqsad? That I am in a safe space, that I am not prone to danger. That is all. That is the maqsad. That is the objective. That's why we're putting this stipulation. If that maqsad is no longer there, there's no longer danger, there is safety. Is there any issue for me to tell you, oh, no, you can't go for Hajj, or you can go for Umrah? Now it becomes abusive. That now you coming between an individual and their Lord and their Creator. Now you're becoming that barrier, that impediment. Oh, you can't go. Allah musta'an. Right? But modern day travel, nowadays, this should never be in any discussion for today. It can be in a way because people nowadays, you can get a visiting visa, you can go there. We'll ask you, is there safety? When you go there, is there anything harm that is going to happen to you? Open for discussion. But that is for me to go and perform Hajj in person. The 5 for all, the 2 exclusive to the sisters. Any questions? We already know all this. It's just a revision for us. Great. Now we said there's 2 ways that I can perform it. Either I go myself or I send you on my behalf. Right? So when can I send you? Is it just when I'm like, look, I have all the things, I can fulfill all those, but you know what, I'm healthy, everything, but I don't want to go in 15-hour flight. It's too long, man. Go through all that hassle and bustle of, no, you go do it for me. Is that valid? When can I make somebody? When one has the financial ability to perform Hajj. They have, remember, he checks all the boxes. Except now, they have an inability of what? Either physical inability, i.e., they are not healthy. Right? They are extremely old. Almost bedridden. Then at that moment, he is obligated or she is obligated to send somebody to perform Hajj for them. Why? Because they meet all the requirement. Financial stability is there. The main thing is the financial stability. But because of their physical health, They are not able to go. So what happens? Now at that moment, that individual is obligated for them to go and perform, for them to pay somebody to perform for them. So I will say, you know what? Look, go and perform. Great, that's one. Another one is an individual has no financial ability. Remember when we said the father, son? The father and the son? Now this is opposite, right? The father does not have the financial ability, but he has the physical strength for him to go and perform Hajj. But he knows that my son has the ability to finance my Hajj for me. He has the ability, mashallah. Not only that, but he's always, how do I put it? Bari, how you say Bari? Ananisikiza sana. How do you? He's dutiful to his parents, to his anything his father says. His father says A, he will do A. His father says B, he will do B. Obedient son, right? So at that moment now, the father or the mother, Hajj is incumbent upon them, right? It's incumbent upon them. Okay? Now when I say it's incumbent upon them, is it incumbent upon the son or is it incumbent upon the father? Who is going to perform? Before we said that my father has the ability to send me, I tell him, okay, that finance, I go. Right? Great. But at this moment, it's the opposite. I have the means or everything, but my dad doesn't have. I can either send him or I can do it for him. You see? Understood? Everyone followed me? I think people lost me.
Is it only father and son? Or, I mean,
I'm talking about any relationship that somebody who loves you so much that they can pay $20,000 for you. Whoever the relationship that you have with that individual, that can be a husband and wife, that can be a father and a son. I'm just using that as an example, as a sample. That can be a best friend. Right? A best friend loves you so much that if you tell him, yeah, Habibi, buy me gold, he will buy you gold. You tell him jump, he will say how high. There's people who, mashallah, their friendship is really strong. Lillah, inshallah. Right? That they can do anything for their other friend. Then, bi'idhnillah. We have the hadith. O Messenger of Allah, my father is an old man who cannot perform Hajj or Umrah, nor can he travel. What did the Prophet ﷺ advise him? Perform Hajj and Umrah on behalf of your father. Even though his father is what? Alive, living, there. Okay? Yes.
So, like, can you perform someone else's obligation for Hajj before your own?
Great question, mashallah. Excellent question. So the question is, can I perform somebody else's Hajj if myself did not perform? For the Shafi'is, we say, when I go do that, guess who it counts for? For example, I am going to perform Hajj for you, right? And I did not do Hajj. Guess who it will count for? Me. Jazakallah khair. Allah bless you. Shukran. MashaAllah. Next year, send me, that will count for you. That's Shafi'i. But I think there's a madhab that says it will count for you. I don't know which one. I don't want to be incorrect. But there's a madhab that says. But we're Shafi'i, you're Shafi'i, guess what? Jazakallah khair. Allah bless you. I'll make too much dua for you.
I'm just quickly piggyback off that. What about dual intention? Do it for yourself and somebody after you performed it. Is that possible? Or
After, you can only perform one Hajj. Yeah, Umrah, yes. It's fathomable. But Hajj is only once. And then I have to wait for next year's Hajj. Right? Because Hajj is Arafah. Oh, okay. Stand at Arafah and then come back again. It doesn't. So that is the major thing. So now, for me, the nutshell is what? For me to be able to perform Hajj, I have to have one, financial stability and physical ability. If you have that, mashallah. Another question was that, can I go to Hajj, going to the financial, by using my credit card? Because now this is the norm that we live in, right? Can I go to Hajj by swiping that Amex black card? Can I? Modern fiqh, let's see. Well, what do you guys think? Let's apply fiqh.
I mean, does the certainty of our pay period play a role into this?
Let's try to explore it.
Like some people get paid every 2 weeks no matter what.
Yes.
Some people don't.
Yes.
Surely that's going to have an effect.
Absolutely. So when I'm swiping it, do I have the means and ability to pay? That's one. Two, how lenient are they? Are they going to tell me every time they want that I am unable to pay them? Now it's going to become a burden on me? Or I have a leeway. They ask for every month. I have an agreement with them, with the person who's loaning me. I have an agreement. Okay, I can pay this on a grace period of 2 years. And they know that. If they put too much pressure on you, then it's no longer required. But if they say, okay, look, I have a black card, man. You know black card? Yeah, max. Swipe it. They don't even, when they give you that, they don't even worry about you. At that moment, Hajj is must upon you, and I will say, even taking me in a way. Now let's look at the pillars of Hajj. Remember now when we said a pillar is a rukun. If you miss it, is your Hajj valid? Great. Ihram. Ihram is a state that I get into. So now when I'm in this state, I have to make intention that I'm getting into this. Either I will do Hajj alone, what we call ifrad, and do Umrah. Or I do Umrah and then Hajj, tamattu. Or I do both, Qiran, right? So when I mentioned that order in the Shafi'i school, the best ifrad, Hajj first, Umrah. After that, I can intend then to do either Umrah first and then Hajj, tamattu. After that, I can either do both enjoined or simultaneously. That's the order of success. So I have to intend for that now, when I'm getting into that state. What is the state of Ihram? The state of Ihram is that if I get into this state, there's some things that I normally do that is no longer permissible for me to engage in. And we're going to talk about what are those things, inshallah, next week. Right? I must have an intention. I have to have a specific intention. Remember we said Hajj, Umrah, Hajj, both. I have to have that specific intention that when I get into this state. So when can I start making this intention that I'm going for Hajj? In Ramadan? Can I in Ramadan make the intention, this year I'm going for Hajj? Or get into this state of Ihram? No, why? Huh? It's too early. When is the starting point? When can I make? Yeah.
Do you make it when you're in the masjid?
No, not in the masjid. You can make it anywhere, but there's a certain month that the month, for example, of Shawwal. So it's Ramadan and then Shawwal. Now from Shawwal going forward, now I can make the intention that I will go for Hajj. But pre or get into that state. Pre, let's say for example, Ramadan 29 or the 30th day of Ramadan. If I make that intention, it doesn't count. Right? So I will make the intention for Hajj during the Hajj months, which are Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah, and then the first 10 days of the month of Hajj. Right? So when an individual makes it outside, generally, outside these months of Hajj, meaning Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah, and then the 10 days, if I make it outside, the intention that I'm making is going to count as if for Umrah. But if I make it within this month, then it will count for both Hajj and Umrah, depending on how I want to do it. Remember first the combination that I made. Any questions? Yeah, that one we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about next week.
Of this intention, can I make this intention, not saying that going to Mecca and just going to the Haram and making, intention for those months? I make the intention, but I don't have to go to the
No, that's different. When I go to Miqat, now I'm going to put on my, ihram. Right, so that's a little bit different. Now it's recommended for me, remember we spoke about this before, we tackled this issue, at-talaffuz. Now it's recommended for me to pronounce the intention. We already spoke about this. Okay? It's not bid'ah. It's actually recommended in the Shafi'i school. Now, for example, I am new to Hajj, I don't know what to do, but I have a leader. Right? For example, let's say we went to Hajj with Sheikh Farhan. Sheikh Farhan was doing some stuff. I don't know what he's doing. I mimic him. Is what I'm mimicking him valid for me? Yes. I can follow someone else's ihram. Right? I can follow someone else's ihram. What are the conditions? They have good akhlaq, and mashallah, they know they have ilm. Right? So those are the two conditions. If that, I can follow them. Right? So, and then we have the hadith. Now, anytime that I go to Mecca, I am required to be in that state. For example, I said here, if one wants to enter Mecca and they are not a frequent, they are not a frequent they are not a frequent visitor. For example, I go there. Allah musta'an. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nice, okay. So I go there, maybe I'm going to do a business dealing, or I'm going to maybe even do Umrah or whatever it is, or I'm going to visit. I'm going to apply to Qura, so I'm going to there. So it is recommended for me to get into the state of Ihram. Okay. But what if somebody is now frequent there? He's working, let's say, he lives outside Mecca, but his job is in Mecca. So every day he's going to come in and leave, every day. Right? Though for that individual, they can enter without making ihram. Right? But it's disliked to enter without ihram. Makruh. And we already know the definition of makruh. We don't have to redefine that again. Now, an individual is going there for a sole purpose. For example, he's going to fight. I don't know how that is going to have a modern connotation. Right? Or is going there, but they have a fear. For example, I have a fear they spoke bad about the government, for example. Once they go there, they know that they will be hidden. Right? Then at that moment, they cannot get into the state of ihram because they don't know if they will perform umrah or hajj They don't know. So they cannot enter into that state. And what is the shahid? What is the evidence for this? When the Prophet ﷺ went to do Fath Makkah. Okay, fiqh. Any questions so far? Everyone is following me? Great. Standing at Arafah. For the first thing we said is ihram. We have to be time. We have 10 minutes. The first thing is you say ihram. The second thing is standing at Arafah. This is extremely essential. The Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Hajju Arafah. That Hajj is Arafah. If I miss standing on Arafah, I missed everything. So what are the boundaries of Arafah? So the boundaries of Arafah, so is the Jabal, the mountain of Arafah itself, and then all these demarcations, except this mosque, Masjid al-Namira. This mosque is not part of Arafah, but all these boundaries. The good thing is if you go there now, it's marked, so you know. What is the time frame for me to be in that? I can literally go, stand for a second, counts for me and I'm out. Provided I'm in the boundary. Let's say the boundary is this line here. Right? So I go there, mashallah, stand. But it defeats its purpose, right? I mean, we want to stand there, make my dua, implore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? But I'm out. The obligation is met. Okay? When can I now start standing here? When can I start standing here? Begins just after the zawal of the day of Arafah. Remember the zawal. What does that signify now? With zawal. After the zawal is what? What time is this? People of fiqh. Huh? Huh?
When the sun passes.
The zenith, right? The sun passes the zenith. What time is that? The time of dhuhr, yes. Ahsant. It's the time of dhuhr. Dhuhr starts once the sun moves to the zenith. So from the time of dhuhr, on the day of Arafah, and it continues until the break of dawn. Right? Until what? Fajr comes out on the next day. The day that we, mashallah, Eid. The day of Eid. For us. Right? Until that day. So I have a good, how many hours? You can calculate that. So anytime. So for example, if I go before that, did my standing count?
No.
If I go after that, did my standing count? Al-Hajju Arafah. I miss that, then there's big things coming for me. Inshallah, hopefully we're going to talk about it. If not within these days, but we're going to cover it anyways, yes.
How long you have to be there? You said, 1 second it counts? I'm done.
Obligation can be achieved even for
You don't say nothing, nothing.
again, it defeats the purpose. Again, we're talking about the just bare minimum. Assalamu alaikum. That's too much actually. One can be in the state of hadath, major and minor. And we talked about hadath. Remember the hadath we talked about? Hadath is being in impurity, ritual impurity. And if you stand it, you don't have to have purity. I don't know how you're going to be in, major hadath. And then lastly, doing tawaf around the Kaaba. So these are the order, and then when I'm doing tawaf, the first tawaf, I'm doing the tawaf of the ziyarah, of visitation. Or this is well known as tawaf al-ifada. So I go from Mina, and I come to Mecca to say salam to the Bayt, and I will do tawaf. And this tawaf is rukun, is a pillar. If I don't do that tawaf, is my hajj valid? Accepted is something different. Is it valid? It's not valid. Okay? How do I do the tawaf? So the tawaf will start at the morning of the sacrifice of the day of Eid, the morning. When does the morning start? 12 a.m. So from 12:01 a.m., I can go start making the tawaf. And then we have the hadith of Salama alayhi salam. Right? So how am I going to make the tawaf? Quickly. I have to cover my aura. We spoke about the aura of the women and the aura of the men. Everything except the hands and the face. Great. Purity from both major and minor hadith. That's one. Two, that najasa has to be free from my body, from my cloth, and from the path that I'm using. Right? From the path that I'm using. Why is that? Because at-tawaf hawl al-bayt mithla salat, the Prophet ﷺ says. Me doing this round over the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the same as me praying. Can I pray with najas on me? Can I pray when I'm in the state of hadith? Ahsant. One must keep the Kaaba on the left. Right? So this is the Kaaba. So this is the Kaaba. I'll put it here for sure. Remember this line, okay? This line is essential. So this is the Kaaba. I will always be. It's always going to be on my left. And I'm going, what is it called? Anti-clockwise. Right? Anti-clockwise. What if I do this? Or I do this? Or I do this? Is my tawaf counted? No. One must begin from the black stone. Let's say, for example, this is the black stone. Here. I have to begin from here. 1. Right? 1. 2. So what if I started from here? How many tawaf have I done now, for example?
2.
Huh? I've done 2? I've done 1. Because I started from here. 1, I went around 2. May you got dizzy with me too. I got dizzy too. Wow. Huh? I went 2 times, but 1 I started from here. So only the second full one counted. 7 rounds. I have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Tawaf must take place within Masjid al-Haram. And Masjid al-Haram is big, it's demarked. And I can do tawaf from higher than the Kaaba, provided I'm going around. So if Allah Ta'ala blesses me, it's a lot of people, man. Guess what? Helicopter. Nice. Allah Ta'ala bless me like that. And bless all of us. I will come down and do it, inshallah. I want humbleness at that moment. You want tawadu. You're in front of the Bayt of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you want to cruise in the air, ahlan wa sahlan. Eh? I don't know if they allow that. But if, let's say, I did it, I might imagine these people do that way. Maybe these people do that way. They're like, I don't want to be with all those people. Huh?
So like, like with Salah, for example, you take the rule in that your feet essentially have to be on the ground for it to like essentially count for prayer.
MashaAllah, you remember Shafi'ī, good. Yes, you have to be connected to earth.
Yes. And as Hajj is a form of worship,
Yes.
does that extend to it? So this theory of like hovering over with a helicopter, for example.
Yes.
This
No,
excluded?
this excludes it. It's okay, provided it's within the vicinity of the haram. That's one. And you're actually going around the actual bait. Then you're okay. I cannot do it outside the vicinity of the haram. Let's say if the haram starts from here, this is the end of haram. I start doing tawaf here, it doesn't count. But if I do it after that, it counts. Yeah, but excellent question, yes.
So if I'm like the mayor or like the king of Saudi Arabia,
MashaAllah, Allahumma barik.
can I then build a large circular bridge, like say in the vicinity of the haram,
Yeah,
and then say, well, you know what, we have so many people doing Hajj, let's create a large circular bridge.
yeah, you can. So you can actually create several floors. The masjid essentially is like that. You find people doing it from the second, the third, the fourth, yeah, above. Yeah, you can. The concept that you're saying is already there. Yeah, it's already, people are already doing it. That's the picture of the Kaaba. And lastly is, not lastly, but going between Safa and Marwa. Going between Safa and Marwa, in the Safa wal Marwa, mashallah. How coincidence? Min sha'airillah. They're from the. You have a question? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to ask, when you're doing tawaf, can like the sisters wear shoes or no?
Wear shoes? Do they allow you to wear shoes there? I don't.
Yeah, there's like a lot of, like, when I went, there was a lot of like people who were wearing shoes and then
Provided it doesn't have najasa, you're good.
I wasn't sure if that was a thing or not.
Yeah, you've provided it doesn't have najasa, you're good.
Sneakers.
Sneakers?
People wearing like sneakers, Air Forces.
But if he has the stitches, man. Because you don't have to have stitches.
For women too?
For men.
And like our group leader, like Ari said, he told some sisters like it's fine, you can wear shoes.
I see for sisters, okay, but for us, man,
Yeah, for men no. He said no.
yeah, with stitches, it'll be tough. Yeah. There's Safa and Marwa, and then there's the shaving. I don't know where the shaving went. Maybe I need to. We'll continue from here. The shaving, just halq, it went with the shaving. The slides got shaved. I will update that. But yeah, we'll stop here. Any questions? We're gonna go to our class of Sahih Muslim, which is gonna take place in the courtyard.
Today?
Right now. Yes. Huh? Yes, Muzdalifah. No obligation, yes, it's not a pillar. We're going to talk about the pillar, rukun, and we're going to talk about the obligations of Hajj.
And I have before the sunset, you have before the sunset, get the zuhur.
It starts at Dhuhr.
Yeah, start from there.
Up to, you have until the next morning.
Some people sleep before Maghrib, before the
Yes,
sunset.
so that they want to go reach Mina quickly.
There's no problem if you stay.
No, there's no problem. There's no problem. It's just a logistical issue. Because it's a logistical issue. So you want to go catch Mina, then from there you want to go to make the tawaf al-Ifadah.
Well, if you stay, it's okay.
Yeah, you can stay up to.
You say that someone else can make the ihram.
Yeah. You can copy somebody else. You can copy somebody else. For example,